In this video, I'm going to talk about some common problems and present some solutions that you might be facing in Amazon dropshipping. This is Mr. Mark with Excel for Sellers. And the first major problem might be finding profitable products. And there are many products out there that we can dropship. There's no shortage of products. However, a lot of products are not profitable. And to understand this, first of all, we need to know what profitability really is. And what really creates profitability is the difference in price between the supplier and on Amazon. So if these prices are too close, then you're not going to be profitable, right? So that's one reason, the prices are too close. Now, another thing is that there might be a lot of sellers selling the product at the same time, and as they're selling that same product, they're competing. One person undercuts the other person, one undercuts the other, and eventually the price ends up very low. It's still profitable, but it's very, very low, super low profit, to where it might not be worth the effort at that point. Another possibility is that you have FBA sellers. I've done some limited FBA myself, and the way FBA works is that you're buying the product usually in bulk at a cheaper unit price, and then you're sending it in. And so you're able to possibly, in some cases, sell it more cheaply than a dropshipper might be able to. The worst case is that Amazon.com is selling the item. And as you might already know, Amazon's price is always very low compared to other sellers. Also, it's their own platform. Of course, they're going to give the buy box to themselves more than to you. So it's very difficult to compete with Amazon. Okay, now those are some different problems, but here are solutions for those problems. Now, one thing that will help is to do a manual search with unknown suppliers. So manually searching for products might seem slow, but it can be advantageous, especially if you use suppliers that are not heavily used by most dropshippers. This will help you with the situation I described with different buyers competing over the same product. So if you can go with more lesser known suppliers and do your product search more manually, then you are more likely to find products with less sellers, less competition. The price won't get dragged down as much. You can make potentially more profit. The downside, of course, to anything manual is that it's generally slower and you need to have sufficient time to do it. It might take you some time to find more products, to find the same number of products rather, but some suppliers may not work with your inventory repricing software, so that's another issue as well. So you might be doing the manual search with a particular supplier, but maybe that supplier doesn't work. Now, if you're using SKUGrid, which is the software I recommend, which I have a free training on, they work with a lot of different suppliers. So you could always use the suppliers that work with SKUGrid, and you still have a lot of different unknown suppliers on that list. The other way, which is really completely quite opposite of the manual method, is to use software. Now, software, of course, is faster, and it can find product matches between your supplier and Amazon instantly, just about instantly. And it will even report the profit, the ROI that you should earn, the rank, and all of that. However, the thing you need to understand is that these softwares only scan certain suppliers because each supplier is different. They have, the way that these softwares work is they have to connect to the supplier and get the supplier's product information. So they're not going to work for every supplier online. They have to be programmed to each supplier. Okay, so they're only going to work with certain suppliers, and those suppliers are usually going to be very popular. So you might have other people using the same software, so there's still some competition there. Also, it's not perfect. The products don't always perfectly match up. You need to check them, make sure you have approval. You need to make sure that the products can be shipped and all of that. So you still have to check the products. However, you can find so many more products so much faster. So the probability of finding a selling product, or a profitable product, I should say, in theory should be higher in a shorter amount of time. So you have to weigh the differences there. So that's one thing. Now, another thing is winning the buy box. Win the buy box is obviously a huge part of whether or not you get sales, and this actually relates back to some things I talked about before. With FBA sellers, they get the buy box more easily than you do. Whether or not they have cheaper prices, just the fact that it's FBA alone, even if their price is higher, they might get the buy box. So one clear solution is just to find listings with only FBM sellers, or very few FBA, maybe one FBA seller, two if I seller. Solution two, there are listings that don't have a buy box. People often don't talk about this. There are listings that do not even have a buy box. And instead of a buy box, they'll say available from these sellers. You click on that and then you'll see the different people who are selling it. And with those listings, whoever has the lowest price, that's who's going to be at the top. There's no buy box. So in general, my third solution is to try to have the lowest price, but that applies all the time, right? Having the lowest price is the best bet to get in the buy box. It's not a guarantee, but it's your best chance. However, you need to know how low you can go, right? Whether you're using software or if you're going to do it manually, you need to know how low you can bring down the price before you start losing money, because you're not investing in the product, so there's no point in planning to lose money on it, all right, when you're not investing in it. So it'd be different if you had 100 units of a product sitting in your home and you needed to get rid of it for some reason, then you might sell it at a loss. But since you're not investing, you're drop shipping, there's no point in planning to sell it at a loss. This is a problem that will actually cause your account to get suspended altogether. So these are pretty serious and they have to be avoided. And there's some reasons why these situations may occur. And one problem is that items get ordered, but they go out of stock at the supplier. So, I mean, the most commonly presented solution to this is to use software, right? However, software alone doesn't cut it, because you have to keep your inventory quantity low. I found that most people only buy one unit at a time anyway, so having your inventory set to 1 is fine. You don't need to put that you have 20. You can just put that you have 1. That way, if 20, you won't have the problem where if 20 items get ordered and then it goes out of stock, now you have to cancel 20 orders. That's too much, right? You really don't want to cancel orders at all, but if it's going to happen, you would prefer that it just be 1 of that item, right? Not 20. Check the stock often. You can do that with software or you can do it manually. Also, I don't suggest letting the software put the item back in stock, because if the item sells a lot, what's going to happen is you're going to sell one and then it's going to go to 0 quantity, and then the software is going to put it right back. It's going to sell another one and another one and another one, and you could end up selling 50, right? I mean, by the time you come back, now you have 50 orders, and maybe the supplier doesn't have 50. Now, the second problem is that items take longer to ship than you expected. One solution to this is set extra handling time for your items. I mean, it's really just that simple. Put the handling time to 7 days, maybe even 5, 10. If you're using software, such as the software I trained on, SKUGrid, you can actually set a default handling time, because on Amazon it's like 2 days. So set a default handling time, maybe 7 days, 5 days. For some suppliers, maybe even 10 days. Another problem might be that you just take too long to order the item. This might happen because you're busy and you're away from the computer for a long time. Simple solution for this: keep your items out of stock when you're unable to order for a long period of time. Put the items out of stock. Some people might not want to do this or might not know how to do this for a large number of items. If you're using software, the software can put your items out of stock for you. SKUGrid has an option that can do that. Or you can do it via an Excel upload onto Amazon if you know how to do that. If you don't, that is something else that I'm planning to make some content on. It might even be linked in the description of this video if the content has already been completed. And I'll show you how to do things like how to upload or update items on your Amazon store in bulk, but you have to have the SKUs ready and the ASINs. And so on that note, if you don't already have my Excel system, get yourself a free copy of the Excel system. A link is provided. This will allow you to organize your products list, including SKUs and ASINs. It also will allow you to organize your orders, your profits, your returns, and everything in one place. So Definitely, if you haven't subscribed for my free Excel system, you should do that through the link in the description of this video. And if you have any further comments, suggestions, or questions on this topic or anything else related to Amazon dropshipping, please let me know. I look forward to seeing you in another video. This is Mr. Mark, Excel for Sellers, and much success in Amazon dropshipping.